Have you ever opened the Facebook Ads Manager, taken one look at all the buttons, the charts, the endless options, and just felt completely lost? I mean, you should be running ads for your business, but that fear of clicking the wrong thing and wasting a bunch of money, yeah, it's very, very real. Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to solve. This isn't just a tutorial. Think of it as a roadmap. We are going to build your very first ad campaign from the ground up together, following a simple, proven framework that just cuts through all that noise. By the end of this, you'll have the clarity and the confidence to finally hit launch. Let's get started.
So, where's this roadmap coming from? Well, the insights for this explainer are pulled from the work of Ben Heath, an ad agency owner who has personally managed over $200 million in ad spend. Just let that sink in for a second. That's not some theory from a textbook. It's a practical, in-the-trenches approach that's been tested and refined across thousands of real-world client accounts. So what does that mean for you? It means you're getting a massive shortcut. We're learning from someone who knows exactly which buttons to push, and maybe even more importantly, which ones to just totally ignore.
And really, that's the big question, isn't it? How do you navigate this incredibly powerful, but let's be honest, kind of complicated system and actually get a return on your investment? It's not just about doing it, it's about doing it right. The whole goal here is to give you a simple, repeatable framework so you can launch your first campaign, not with anxiety, but with some genuine confidence.
We're going to break this all down into 5 easy-to-follow steps. First up, we'll cover the foundation, the basic structure that every single campaign is built on. Then, we'll get into what is probably the single most important choice you'll make. After that, we'll look at how to find your audience without overthinking it, how to write a simple message that works, and finally, we'll talk about the right mindset for actually hitting that publish button. All right, let's jump into step 1.
Okay, first things first. Before we even think about cool images or clever ad copy, we absolutely have to understand the blueprint. And what's pretty amazing is that every single campaign on Meta, whether it's for a local coffee shop or a giant global brand, is built on the exact same, simple, 3-level structure. Once you get this, everything else just clicks into place.
I love this slide because it really shows you how simple this structure is. You only need to remember these 3 levels. Think of it like a filing cabinet system, okay? At the very top, you've got the campaign. This is the main folder, and it holds your one big goal. For example, your goal might just be get more sales. Super simple. Inside that folder, you have your ad sets. These are the subfolders. An ad set is where you decide who you're targeting, their location, their age, their interests, and how much you're going to spend. And then finally, inside each of those folders, you have the actual ads, the image, the video, the words that people will actually see in their feed. That's it. Campaign, ad set, ad. If you can get this simple hierarchy in your head, you've already won half the battle.
Now, just a quick but super important technical note here. To do any of this the right way, you've got to set up a Meta Business Manager account first. It's free, it's a one-time thing, and honestly, it's not optional if you want to run your business like a pro. Think of it as the main office for all your digital stuff. It keeps your personal Facebook profile separate from your business, it lets you safely give access to other people down the road, and it's basically the container that holds your ad account, your Facebook page, and your Instagram profile all in one neat, organized place. Don't skip this step.
All right, with our foundation in place, we get to what is, hands down, the single most important decision you are going to make in this whole process, and that is choosing your campaign objective. Now, this isn't just some label to help you stay organized. This is your direct order to Meta's incredibly powerful AI. You are literally telling the algorithm what success looks like for your business. Get this part right, and the AI becomes your best employee.
And I really want to hammer this point home. This is not just a setting. Think of it as giving the AI its marching orders. The moment you choose an objective, the algorithm starts sifting through billions of data points to find people who are most likely to take that exact action. See, Meta knows who the online shoppers are, who fills out forms, who just watches videos, and who loves to click on stuff. If you tell it the wrong thing, it will go find you the wrong people with scary efficiency. This one choice is the steering wheel for your entire campaign.
Now here's the good news. While there are a bunch of options, for probably 90% of you just starting out, the choice is super simple. It really just boils down to this. Are you a service-based business? A coach, a consultant, a real estate agent? If your goal is to get someone's contact info to start a conversation, you're going to choose the leads objective. But what if you have an e-commerce store or you sell a digital product where someone can buy right from your website? Then you choose sales. That's it. Don't overthink it. Just start with the actual business result you want.
And this quote from the source material just perfectly explains the classic beginner trap, choosing the traffic objective. I mean, it sounds great, right? I want more traffic to my website. But you have to remember, Meta's system is very, very literal. When you tell it you want traffic, it will find you an army of what I call professional clickers, people who just love to click on links but almost never actually buy anything or fill out a form. You'll get a report that looks great, full of cheap clicks, but your bank account won't see a dime. You get vanity metrics, but zero results. So please, always, always optimize for the real prize, the lead or the sale.
Okay, so we've told Meta our goal. We want leads or we want sales. Now we need to give it a starting point for who to show our ads to. And the keyword I really want you to focus on here is suggestion. The old days of trying to micro-target this perfect, tiny little audience, they're pretty much over. Today, our job is to work with the AI, not try to outsmart it.
And honestly, this is a huge relief for beginners. You no longer have to build this tiny, perfect little cage and force the AI to stay inside. Think of it more like you're giving a really smart hunting dog a scent to follow. You just point it in the right general direction, and then you trust its incredible ability to go find the real target, even if that target is somewhere you didn't expect. Your only job is to provide a good, clear starting point. You don't have to be perfect.
So how do we give the AI that good starting point? Well, when you open up the audience targeting tool, it can feel like a lot. I mean, there are thousands of options. But here's the secret. For your first campaign, you can and you should ignore almost all of it. All you need to do is answer these 3 simple questions.
First, location. Where can you actually serve your customers? Don't get too specific. If you serve an entire country, just target the whole country. Give the algorithm the biggest playground you possibly can. Second, demographics. What's a reasonable age range for your customers? Again, go broad. Something like 25 to 55 is perfect. And third, interests. What's one obvious thing they're into that's related to what you sell? If you sell fancy yoga mats, just target the interest, yoga. That's literally it. Give Meta these simple, broad signals and then trust the algorithm to find the buyers within those big groups.
Okay, our campaign structure is set. We've told Meta our goal is sales, and we've given it a nice, broad audience of people interested in yoga. Now we get to the fun part, the ad itself. What are people actually going to see when they're scrolling through their feed? This is where all that foundational work really pays off.
And here's some advice that's going to save you a ton of time and stress. You do not need a slick, expensive, professionally shot video for your first campaign. In fact, a lot of the time, it's better if you don't have one. A simple, clean, clear image that grabs attention can feel more natural in the feed. It feels less like an ad, which can actually make people lower their guard and pay more attention to your message. The real magic, especially when you're starting out, is in the words you use, the ad copy.
And here is a super simple 4-part formula you can use for pretty much any ad you ever write. First, the hook. Grab their attention by calling out a problem they know they have. Second, the solution. Present your product as the answer to that problem. Third, scarcity or urgency. Give them a reason to act now, not later. And finally, the call to action. Tell them exactly what to do next. So for our yoga mat company, it could be something like, hook. Tired of your mat slipping during downward dog? Solution. Our evergreen mat sticks to the floor so you can focus on your flow. Scarcity. We only have 50 of these left in our first batch. And the call to action. Click shop now to get yours before they're gone. See? Hook, solution, scarcity, CTA. It's a classic for a reason, it just works.
All right, we've built our campaign, we've defined our objective, we've suggested an audience, we've even written our ad. We are at the final step, and this one is less about the tech and more about your mindset. And honestly, this is often the hardest part for people, but it is the most important.
Once you're happy with everything you've set up, it's time to hit that big, green Publish button. Now, a little heads up, don't freak out if nothing happens right away. Your ad has to go into a review queue where Meta's systems check it to make sure it follows all the rules. For a brand new ad account, this can take anywhere from a few minutes to a full 24 hours. Just be patient. It's a totally normal part of the process.
And this right here is probably the most important thing you'll hear today. Your first campaign is not about hitting a home run. It's not about getting 1,000 sales on day one. Your first campaign is just about getting on base. Think of it like a science experiment. You're not spending money, you are investing a little bit of money to get back priceless, real-world data about what your audience actually cares about. The real goal is progress, not perfection. It's all about momentum. So launch it, see what happens, learn from it, and make it a little bit better next time. So I'll leave you with this question. What's the one small, imperfect test you can launch this week to start getting your own data?